Okay. Okay. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Academy staff, and thank you for safely social distancing as we go through this ceremony. I'm David Whittam, the Director for Public Safety Training, and I welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Allen Hancock College Core Custody Academy Class 08. Welcome you here today for today's event at the Public Safety Training Complex is especially meaningful as we honor the graduates and celebrate their awesome achievements. Today's graduates have just completed 220 hours in 9 weeks of intensive training. They have been challenged mentally, physically, and emotionally. Now if I can get your attention to the right of the building and welcome Class 08 graduates.
Sergeant, can't you see? All this march is killing me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mama, can't you see? Mama, can't you see? What the academy's done to me. What the academy's done to me. Took away my faded jeans. Took away my faded jeans. Now I'm wearing tan and green. Now I'm wearing tan and green. Mama, can't you see? Mama, can't you see? I'm finally working custody. I'm finally working custody. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And now I'd like to invite Recruit Russ to the podium, who will deliver the invocation for today's ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your head with me and pray according to your belief. Dear God, we thank you for this day and for all our friends and families here with us today. We are grateful for all your blessings today and always, but especially for this Academy class and the opportunity to learn together. Thank you, God, for bringing this wonderful group together. Thank you also for the outstanding Academy staff, instructors, and even the TAC officers who have instructed and guided us these past several weeks. God, we ask that you bless us all today and always. We also ask for your protection, guidance, and peace. Finally, we ask for your blessings on our future career in law enforcement.
Thank you, Recruit Russ. Everyone who's standing can be seated now. I would like to thank our guests, dignitaries, Hancock College staff, and Academy staff for joining us today in this graduation ceremony. Today, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today's ceremony. Today, we're honored to have Sheriff Bill Brown as the keynote speaker. Please help me welcome Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thank all of you for being here on this wonderful day to celebrate this wonderful occasion. And I see that I have the wrong binder here, so could I get my other binder, whoever has it, for this is a swear-in binder, so. All right, let's do this. Let's do this another way. First of all, oh, do we have it? All right. So we're going to do this another way. So I'm not going to be able to remember everybody's names here that we've got to welcome today and thank for putting this academy on. But Dave Whittam, as the academy director, I thank you and all of your staff, Mitch, everyone who's here that has worked so hard to put this event on. This event is it's a modified graduation. And in some ways, some people might say, well, you know, this class got kind of cheated out of a real graduation where all kinds of friends and everybody could come. We're in the midst of a pandemic. We've had to modify it. The Academy has done a terrific job in doing that. And this is going to be a great celebration. And a lot of people have gone to a lot of trouble to make this something that is a really, really special day for you, the graduates of this class. This class, if you take a look at them, is incredibly diverse. They are male and female. They are young and older. Sorry about that, BC. BC, where are you? BC right here is 48 years old, and he graduated from this academy class. That's an incredible testament to you and your fortitude and your drive and your determination and your desire to get into this profession. This profession that you men and women are entering today is a noble one. It's one that is currently under a lot of scrutiny. It's one that is currently the focus of a lot of ire and a lot of anger. There are major calls for reform in the way that law enforcement and corrections operate. People have a different viewpoint now than they did. People look at law enforcement officers from certain communities. They look at law enforcement officers differently than they used to. Attitudes that people have about incarceration, the type and the number of people who we should have incarcerated in our communities are changing. We have tremendous financial challenges that are headed our way as a result not only of the pandemic, but of the fallout, the unemployment that has occurred as a result of that, the lack of tourism in our county, which is dependent on tourism heavily, the unemployment of 20% or so of our nation's people is going to have serious economic effects. And we who have been tasked really over the past 10 15 years with doing more with less are going to have to figure out ways to do even more with even less. And some people might look at you today and say, why would you want to get into a profession where you're in the gun sights, where you are up for criticism from all angles, from all levels? And the reality is, it would be very easy for people to say, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do something else. But like anything that's important in life, it takes a lot of work to do something that has to be done. It takes a lot of desire, takes a lot of drive, takes a lot of ambition. And in some ways, you are going to have to work twice as hard to get half the credit that some of your predecessors did. We're in the midst of a national crisis that is, in many respects, the focus of how people have been treated. That's how what it really always boils down to. The reality or the perception of how people have been treated by the police. So it is incumbent upon each and every one of you to make sure that you do the best you possibly can to treat people the right way. Now, one of the things I always admonish people who are coming into our profession with, and I'm going to do it right now for you, is to always practice the golden rule of good law enforcement and corrections. That means that after each and every encounter that you have with another person, with another human being, whether that person is a work colleague, a member of the public, a criminal suspect, or an inmate in our jail, after each and every encounter that you have with a person, you ask yourself this question: if I was that person, would I honestly feel as though I had been treated professionally and courteously and fairly? And if the answer to that question is yes, then you're doing a good job. And if the answer to that question is no, then you need to figure out what was missing from you during that encounter, and you need to make it right the next time. You are custody deputies who work for the sheriff of Santa Barbara County, on the sheriff's office. And the word sheriff has 7 letters in it. And we like to say that those letters stand for 7 values that we need to strive for in our everyday work: service, honor, ethics, respect, integrity, fairness, and fidelity or faithfulness. If you live up to those values, those ideals, then you will not only be representing yourself well, you will be representing our organization and our professions, law enforcement and corrections, very well also. Now, today's a graduation, and I love going to graduations. I love it because there are 2 things in a graduation ceremony. There's a celebration of what's been accomplished, but there's also a look forward, a look to the future. And we're going to celebrate today your accomplishments. We're going to celebrate the great work that you have done in this academy class. But I want every one of you to look forward also. To look forward to recognizing that the learning never stops. The training never stops. the opportunity and the ability for you to do what's right never stops. And I want you to commit yourselves today that you are going to be principled custody deputies who treat people the right way. You're entering a tough profession. You're going to deal with a lot of rough customers. You're going to deal with people that are going to be rude to you, who are going to be defiant, who are going to push your buttons sometimes. On rare occasions, you may be assaulted by those people, or some of those people. But your training that you've received in this academy is training that you will be able to use to keep you safe and to keep your partners safe. You've had state-of-the-art training. And as the opportunities present themselves for you to handle challenging situations, you're going to be given the privilege of being in the spotlight, of setting the example to the inmates and to your colleagues of how you should conduct yourself to be an exemplary custody deputy. Now, part of that training I want to talk about a little bit today, and that is the duty, not the opportunity this time, the duty that you have to intervene if one of your colleagues who's had their button pushed, has had enough, starts to do something that they shouldn't do, starts to treat somebody a little too roughly, a little too, in a way that doesn't recognize the responsibility that they have. And my expectation and our expectation of you in this profession is that you have a duty, understand that you have a duty to intervene, to tag that person out. Maybe they just don't, there's a chemistry there between them and an inmate that's not good. Tag your partner out before something happens. And if something is happening, stop it. You do that, you just might save your partner's career, but as we've seen in Minneapolis, you might save somebody from going to jail, or you might save a community from erupting somewhere because of the belief that these incidents, which are very rare in our profession, happen all the time. It's your responsibility to make sure that that happens. You are going to have the opportunity to model behavior that we want our inmates to replicate when they get out of jail. Because 98.9% of the inmates who are in our jail are coming back out of that jail. And they're coming back out into the community, and they're going to be out there, and they're going to be neighbors, and they're going to be people that are side by side on the street and in stores with members of your family, with your loved ones, and with your friends. And we don't practice incarceration without intervention. We don't keep somebody in a cage for X amount of time and then open the door and turn them loose. We try to work with people. We try to set the example. We try to get them involved in programs. We try to give them the tools that will make them better people, that will make them understand others, that will give them patience, that will give them the ability to manage their anger, to control their addictions, to get a job, to make a living, to come back after paying their debt to society and becoming citizens in our community who are productive and are not destructive anymore, who don't drain the coffers of government, but who by their productivity and their tax paying make sure that there's enough money in those coffers so that we can do our job properly. It's all paid forward. What you are about to embark upon is all paid forward. Sometimes it won't be easy. Sometimes you're going to be stressed out. Sometimes you're going to be challenged in such a way that you're going to want to blow off steam. You're going to want to look for some kind of escape. And some people in our profession in the past have had a lot of problems in how they manage the stress that inevitably comes with a job. Every one of you today is getting a book. It's called I Love a Cop. It was written by Dr. Ellen Kirschman. It's called I Love a Cop, What Police Families Need to Know. And it's about some of the aspects of our job that are difficult and challenging. Shift work, working holidays, dealing with tough customers, dealing with people who are angry at the world. It gives some great tools that you can use to stay centered, to have a balanced life, and to approach what you do as a professional and reap the reward that you're going to reap from doing that job. It's a tough job, but it's a noble job. And I want you to understand that, and I want every member of your family out there to understand it. Your man, your woman who is up here, they are getting into a noble profession. A profession that has tremendous opportunity to help other people, to protect and serve our community. And we are grateful for them. And although it might not seem like it right at this moment, the majority of people in this country are very grateful for what we do and for what you are about to do. And the job that you do by keeping people who would prey on others in a secure but humane custody environment, who have the opportunity to try to work with people to turn some of them around. You're not going to turn them all around. Some of them are going to be in and out of jail. You'll see them multiple times. But they're not all lost causes. There are opportunities for us through the example that we set, through the example that you will set every day with every interaction you have with them. You will have that opportunity to plant some seeds that hopefully will germinate and will grow and will be a pivotal turning point for people who, in many cases, have hit rock bottom in their life and wound up in jail. You got a tremendous responsibility ahead of you. And I think that you are at one of the most exciting points in life that you could be. I look back on my academy class when I graduated. I was so excited to get to work. Back in those days, my starting salary was $1,208 a month. And most of the cops at that time were carrying revolvers instead of semi-automatic pistols. We worked with electric typewriters, not computers. We had portable radios that were about the size of a cinder block. And you had to pull an antenna out. And they didn't work half the time. And if you had told me back in those days where I had to use liquid whiteout when I made an error on a triplicate typed up form, and had to do it on 3 pages, if you had told me that in the future we were going to be using computers in the cars, we were going to have instant access to national databases, we were going to have radio systems that were incredibly reliable. We were going to have semi-automatic rifles in our cars. We were going to have this device called a taser that you could use on somebody and incapacitate them most of the time electronically. If you'd told me that back when I started the academy, I would have never believed you. Well, that was 43 years ago for me. And I guarantee you, however long your career is, at the end of it, you're going to look back and you're going to think, wow, look at the way we were doing things back then compared to the way we're doing things now. Techniques are going to change. Policies are going to change. Attitudes in society are going to change. Working conditions, facilities are going to change. We're just about to open a brand new jail. Many of you are going to have the opportunity to work in a brand new jail. Not a jail that's 50 years old and that we have to adapt our philosophies to, but a jail that was designed purposefully by your predecessors to be able to allow you to do the good work that you're going to do in that jail. You're going to witness, and you're going to be part of a lot of change. Change is the one constant that you're going to be dealing with. Now, my former undersheriff, he used to like to tell me, he said, you know, there are two things in the world that cops hate. The way things are and change. Think about that for a minute. We grumble about change, but we grumble about the way things are. Change is the constant that we must live with. And don't be scared of it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Recognize how we can do things better. As good as we are, and we are good as an organization, we can always get better. We want to strive for excellence all the time. That's what we are about in this organization. We have a motto in our organization that says, keeping the peace since 1850. It's a long time that we've been protecting and serving the people of Santa Barbara County. It's the very beginning of the state of California. We were one of the first 23 counties that this state was divided into. It's now 58 counties, but we were one of the first 23. It's important to recognize that you have a legacy, a history behind you. And you are going to play a role. You're going to play a key part in our history moving forward. And let's just make sure that when the history books are written, when the people talk about our organization, that they will talk favorably, that they will talk with pride, that they will talk with respect, that they will say that organization has a reputation of doing things professionally and doing things the right way. But what I really want them to say, and what I want you to model, is that organization has a reputation of treating people the right way. God bless you. God bless your families, and thank you for sharing them with us. And remember that people are watching you. Your colleagues, the public, the inmates, people are watching you and will take their cues from you. You've got a tremendous opportunity ahead of you. Please, 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 don't squander it. Congratulations to all of you. We're exceptionally proud of you.
Thank you, Sheriff Brown, for your inspiring words. There has been a great deal of ongoing preparation and energy involved in the delivery and training of Academy Class 08. The success of the Academy is a reflection of the commitment, dedication, quality, and professionalism of the recruits, the training staff, and the instructors. I thank them all for a job well done. Special thanks to the class recruit training officer, Sergeant Kelly Hamilton, and Sergeant Williams for their leadership and professionalism in leading the recruits of Class 08. While we are here today to honor all the graduates, first we would like to recognize the special achievements of the individuals in Academy Class 08. I would like to ask Academy Coordinator Neil Lemaire to up to the podium for the presentation of the awards.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. Again, we thank you so much for the opportunity, taking the time to come out, support your loved ones under these unique conditions. Ordinarily, the organizations would be here to present these awards, and I know that they would want to personally congratulate each and every one of you on your wonderful accomplishments and also receiving these awards for a job well done. The first award is the Valedictorian Award, and it is in recognition of the recruit with the highest overall class performance in key trainings such as academics, physical fitness, report writing, and personal conduct. The recipient of this award will provide a short speech following the presentation of the award. The Valedictorian Award is sponsored by the Sheriff's Managers Association. It is our pleasure to present the Valedictorian Award to Nick Montalone. I ask that the Sheriff and Director Whittam please come to the front and center. That one's over there. Dave. Plaque.
Good morning. Sheriff Brown, retired Commander Hamilton, retired Sergeant Williams, Academy coordinators, professors, instructors, friends, family, and distinguished guests. It is an honor and a privilege to be standing here today representing Core Custody Academy Class 08. It's hard to imagine that we've come so far in such a short amount of time. This experience has been dynamic, to say the least. We all came from different walks of life and had to adjust to learning a new career. We motivated each other during weaknesses and praised one another during strengths. We stayed up late, got up early. We sacrificed times with our loved ones, all to be yelled at, do push-ups, and run to the bell. Words and phrases such as memo, fall out, go for a run, correction, and get strong, meathead, became daily occurrences that we all dreaded. Copious amounts of penal codes, case laws, and Title 15 regulations were fair game during morning inspections. We all remained healthy and uninjured, for the most part. There may have been an instance where I gave myself a black eye with my own baton after being pepper sprayed, but that's not important. And all the while this was going on, the pandemic of the decade was happening. During this academy, we not only adapted to life as a recruit, but had the added bonus of social distancing, wearing masks, morning temperature scans, and figuring out how we were going to do this graduation. I think we did well for ourselves. Academy was challenging, and it should be.
There were struggles, hardships, but we stayed committed to one another and helping each other succeed. I think that speaks a lot to our character, and it is a precursor to how we will carry out our duties once we get in the jail. One question we should ask ourselves as we walk off this campus is, why did we pick this career? For some, it may be to better our community, follow family tradition, or challenge ourselves. In the beginning, I personally was not looking for a career in law enforcement. John Lennon once said, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And finding out you're going to be a dad would be a qualifying event in my book. When my wife and I discovered that she was pregnant with our first child last year, we decided to move from Los Angeles back to Lompoc, to where most of our family lived. At the time, I was working at SpaceX, driving an average of 4 hours a day in traffic and working 50 to 70 hours a week. I was building rockets and spaceships that would one day take astronauts up into space and to the space station and beyond. When we decided to move back to Lompoc, I applied to transfer to the Vandenberg SpaceX site. Unfortunately, that did not work out as they were downsizing, and I was extremely discouraged. I had to look for a whole new career to start, and I was very apprehensive. My top priorities were providing for my family and finding a place to live before our child was born. We were extremely blessed to have my in-laws open up their home to us until we had a place of our own. After a couple months of searching for a job, my wife suggested that I look into law enforcement. I applied to the custody deputy position, made it through the hiring process, and I was offered a sheriff's service technician in the jail until Custody Academy started. During the hiring process, I told myself this was something I had to do to provide for my family. And I struggled to find a concrete, dependable reason for choosing this career. Then, the second most incredible day of my life happened. My son was born. I found my motivation. I want to be the best example of a man for my son that I can be, to endeavor to teach him leadership and compassion, along with giving back to the community that has provided me with such fond memories growing up. With this career, I knew I could make a difference and look back on my life with pride. Before I end, I want to thank my classmates for the support and camaraderie, our instructors for challenging us to be better, my in-laws for always being there to give me valuable advice and encourage me, my parents for raising me to never quit when life gets tough. And finally, I want to say thank you to my wife, Rebecca, who made this possible. If it were not for the support of my best friend and the love of my life, I would not be graduating here. She supported me and challenged me to keep going and do something crazy. Without a doubt, we will face some of the most difficult times of our life starting this new career. We've all gained experience and confidence that will assist us in our profession. We've all improved in the last few months, but that should not stop after graduation. A great custody deputy should never become complacent and should always be eager to learn more. Some might say at the end of the day, it is what it is, but we're Class 08, we don't quit, we don't break. We do not give up when the going gets tough. We've become a family, and I look forward to serving with you on the toughest beat in the county. Congratulations, Class 08.
I want to thank the Sheriff's Managers Association for the ongoing generous support of the Core Custody Academy. Also, thank you to the other organizations that have financially supported the officers that are also will be receiving special recognition today. One of those awards is the Leadership Award, and it's presented to the recruit which demonstrates exceptional leadership skills. Throughout the Academy, the recipient of this award is selected by classmates based on a distinguished level of effort put forth in the best interest of the Academy class. Also, leadership skills demonstrated as class sergeant and throughout the Academy. The Leadership Award is sponsored by the Santa Maria Elks, who would have loved to have been here today, but under these circumstances, I'm sure we all understand. The Leadership Award recipient for Class 08 is Recruit Ortiz. Again, thank you to the Santa Maria Elks Lodge for your continuous support. The next award that we would like to recognize the individual for is the recruit recognized for the Ron Battles Award during the Academy training. It is selected by the majority vote, again by his classmates or her classmates. The recruit encouraged and supported fellow classmates to do their best and to walk through all problems. The most inspirational award is sponsored by the Santa Barbara County Deputies Association. The award recipient for Class 08 is Recruit Callahan. Special thanks and congratulations, Dave. I'm sorry. We've now reached the moment that you've all been waiting for, the awarding of certificates. Sheriff Brown, joined by Sergeant Hamilton and Sergeant Williams, will do the presentation of the certificates. Gentlemen, please take your place at the award table. Before we announce the names and the presentation of the certificates, most of y'all may or may not be aware, but there were 17 graduates. Today you will see 16. One of those graduates is now Officer Miss Norma Castro. Miss Castro's National Guard unit was activated in response to the civil unrest issues we are currently facing. Miss Castro is serving our country as we speak. I do ask that you take a short time of silence to keep Ms. Castro and all those currently protecting this great nation in our thoughts and in our prayers. Thank you. And now, with the presentation of the certificates, Arturo Alvarez. Anita Artiaga. Blender BC. Good job. Abraham Delgadillo. Congratulations. Israel Gutierrez. Congratulations, sir. Trenton Howell. Robert Kuhn. Christian Nova. Juan Rodriguez. Francisco Santos. Julio Silva. Good job, buddy. Jermaine Valdez. Michael Callahan. Jerry Ortiz. Nick Monteleone. And Paul Russ. Thank you, Sheriff Brown, and congratulations, graduates, on your success. Sheriff, would you please stand by? I would also like to do an additional thank you before Mr. Whittem, our director, comes up to the podium. Kelly Hamilton, Sergeant, would you please step? along with the director and Sheriff Brown, to the front center, please. Retired Commander from the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office, Corrections, and also currently Sergeant Hamilton as our RTO, has served this academy for 3 years. He has provided expert knowledge, invaluable life skills to the current and previous recruits, beginning with Corps 5 through Corps 8. Sergeant Hamilton has led by example. He has inspired and instilled professionalism, integrity, knowledge, and compassion. Although we will continue to provide these outstanding qualities through our attack officers in the future, Sergeant Hamilton will be deeply missed, for he is going to greener pastures in Colorado. Sergeant Hamilton, we thank you for your service. We hope that you have a wonderful life ahead of you, and we thank you for all that you've provided this academy. Thank you. Director Whittam, could you please stand by? I ask now that Custody Deputies Kuhn and Valdez would like to present the class plaque on behalf of Class 08. Thank you, Class 08. At this time, I would like to ask the sheriff up to the podium to introduce all the individual recruits. Thank you.
All right, this part of our ceremony is where your loved ones and our new custody deputies are going to be sworn in, where they will actually become sworn law enforcement officers and officially become custody deputy sheriffs. And I want to let this class know that actually this is one of the benefits of having a graduation like this, because normally we do this ceremony separately, and I'm sure that everybody is not going to be able, would not be able to attend. So this opportunity is for you to have not only your loved ones present, but also to have a videotaped memorial of this for you to have as a memento for the rest of your career. So always look for the bright side on something. I want to welcome Academy Class 08, Arturo Alvarez, Anita Arteaga, Blair Arbisi, Michael Callahan, Norma Castro, Abraham Delgadillo, Israel Gutierrez, Trenton Howell, Juan Rodriguez, Robert Kuhn, Kristen Nova, Paul Russ, Francisco Santos, Julio Silva Rodriguez, and Jermaine Valdez. And I also want to congratulate Nicholas Montaloni and Jerry Ortiz on their new roles with the Sheriff's Office. They've been previously employed with us. They are changing from their role as Sheriff Service Technician and becoming Custody Deputy Sheriffs. Have a seat, ladies and gentlemen. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office has a proud tradition, as you heard me say earlier, of keeping the peace since 1850. And as I mentioned to you in my remarks, my advice to you is to always practice that golden rule of good law enforcement and corrections. It's so important that we treat people the right way. So just remember, after each and every encounter you have with anyone, ask yourself, if that was me, would I have thought that I was treated the right way? Would I have thought that I was treated courteously and professionally and above all fairly? And if the answer to that is yes, you're doing a great job. And if the answer to that is no, then you need to figure out what was missing and make it right the next time. It's now time for me to present you to this crowd, to tell them a little bit about you and your background. And at the conclusion of that, I will have the privilege of swearing you in as sheriff's custody deputies. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about this right here. The badge. The badge that we wear or carry as law enforcement officers. The badge is unquestionably the most important piece of equipment or accoutrement that we have as peace officers. It is a symbol of the faith that the public places in each of us to honorably carry out the great responsibilities that we have. The responsibilities of taking someone's freedom away. The responsibility of apprehending someone in the field. The responsibility of caring for someone in the jail. Occasionally, the responsibility of using force. And sometimes even less commonly, but something that is incredibly important, that it must be, if it must be done, it must be done the right way, is to take someone's life. Those are awesome responsibilities. We are entrusted with those responsibilities. And by you receiving a badge and wearing a badge and carrying a badge, you have great responsibility for the rest of your career, as long as it happens. The badge, whether it's a star-shaped badge like we have or an oval-shaped badge like most police agencies have, it represents the same thing. An ancient warrior's shield, a shield of protection. And the symbolism of that protection is twofold. It represents the protection that we provide to the community by working on the streets, by investigating crimes, by apprehending wrongdoers, by keeping them in a secure and humane environment. But it also represents the protection that the public gives to us, with enhanced penalties for anyone that would do us harm, or special rights and privileges like the right to carry firearms. Our badge is a 7-pointed star. Some people say that is an ancient symbol that represents good over evil. The 7 points on our star represent the 7 letters in the word sheriff, and those 7 values that I mentioned to you earlier as well: service, honor, ethics, respect, integrity, fairness, fidelity, or faithfulness. Those values are things we should strive for every day in our work. Inside the arms of the badge are oak and laurel leaves, which represent strength and high achievement. At the center of the badge is the Great Seal of the State of California, which represents the statewide peace officer authority that we have. At the top of the badge is the rank of the holder of that badge, in your case, custody deputy. At the bottom of the circular panel around the center of the badge are the words Santa Barbara County. And there's a small panel on the bottom badge which has a unique badge number, which identifies you. All of those components make the badge that you are wearing on your chest today unique. There's no other badge in the world that is exactly like that. The badge that we wear is finished in gold to represent something that is precious. Normally, we would have a badge pinning as part of this swearing ceremony, and we would have your loved ones come up and pin this badge onto you. We can't do that because of this COVID pandemic. But we had your loved ones, your family members, pin your badges last night or the night before on you, and we got photographs of them, and we're going to show those photographs on the video transmission of this ceremony when I call your names, to show that that privilege and that incredibly poignant moment was still captured. Here's the most important thing I want you to remember about this badge. The badge that you have received is new, and it's shiny, and it's untarnished. As long as you wear or carry this badge, you have a responsibility, on or off duty, to not do anything that is going to be that's going to bring discredit or bring dishonor upon this badge. Because if you do that, you will tarnish this badge. And I've got news for you. You won't just tarnish your badge. You will tarnish the badge that all of us in the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office wear. And as we have so tragically seen, you will tarnish the badge of every law enforcement officer in America. Great responsibility to carry and wear a badge. But I am very confident that you are people of a caliber that is worthy of this badge, and that will treat this badge and wear this badge with respect and with honor. And I admonish you to always honor this badge as long as you are in our profession. So now it's my great privilege to introduce you. When I call your name, I'd like you to stand where you are, and I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about you. I'm going to tell everyone who pinned your badge upon your chest. I'm going to ask you to be seated, and then I will go through all of the class, and at the conclusion of that class, you're going to take your oath of office. I'm going to swear you into your new position. So first of all, I'd like to start with Custody Deputy Arturo Alvarez Carrion. Would you please stand? Arturo was born in Jalisco, Mexico, to parents Roberto and Rosario Alvarez. He has 3 siblings, his sister Adriana and his brothers Alejandro and Roberto. Arturo was raised in Mexico, and then he attended Carpinteria High School in Carpinteria. Soccer. He enjoyed playing soccer, running cross country, and he was a member of the Future Farmers of America. After graduating in 2009, he enrolled at Santa Barbara City College, where he continued to play soccer and lead his team to multiple championships. In 2010, Arturo's brother entered service with the United States Marine Corps, and this motivated him to do the same thing in 2011. In 2012, Arturo was attached to the 5th Battalion, 14th Division Marines, and he remained assigned in the Marine Corps until 2019. During his time with the Marines, Arturo reached the rank of sergeant, and he received the National Defense Service Medal, the Selected Marine Corps Reserve Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and he was awarded twice the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal. Before being hired with the sheriff's office, Arturo was a restaurant manager for a family-owned Subway franchise in Ventura. Arturo lives in Oxnard, California, with his girlfriend, Nixie Martinez, and 10-year-old daughter, Yaneli. And he enjoys camping and fishing when he's not working. Arturo, thank you for your dedicated service to our nation, and thank you for choosing to become a member of the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, where you will continue your service to our community. Arturo's badge was pinned by his girlfriend, Nixie Martinez. How about a round of applause for Arturo? Thank you, Arturo. Next is Custody Deputy Anita Arteaga. Anita was born in Michoacan, Mexico, to parents Miguel Arteaga Collin and Maria Roman. She has 4 siblings, Maribel, Leticia, Ricardo, and Sandra. Anita moved with her mother and her siblings to Carpinteria in 1989 and attended Carpinteria High School, where she graduated in 1996. After high school, she enrolled at Santa Barbara City College and began taking classes in the administration of justice. In 2007, she was hired by the San Luis Obispo County Department of Social Services, and she became a supervising administrative clerk, a position she held until applying for a job with the sheriff's office. Anita lives in Santa Maria with her 3 children, her son Arturo and daughters Valeri and Ailia. Her badge was presented to her by her son Arturo and her daughter Alia. Congratulations, Anita, and thank you for becoming a member of our organization. Next is Custody Deputy Bledar Bisi. You heard me point out that Bledar was 48 years old and finished this grueling academy. It's an incredible accomplishment. He's kind of an incredible guy. Bledar was born in Fier, Albania, to his parents, Palijani and Brunilda Bisi. He has 1 sister, Oleona. His brother-in-law, Salem Selmeta, is a custody lieutenant with our sheriff's office and works in the Santa Barbara main jail. So I told you this was a diverse class at the beginning of my remarks for the keynote. I would venture to bet we're the only department now that has 2 Albanian custody deputies in our organization. Bledar was raised in Fier, Albania. He attended Sami Frasheri High School in Tirana, Albania. He graduated in 1990. He participated in track and field, volleyball, soccer, and basketball. After high school, he attended the University of Tirana, and he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering. Bledar worked for the Albanian government as a customs officer until he and his family moved to the United States in 2006. After moving to Camarillo, California, he began working for Roadrunner Shuttle Company, where he worked as a driver for 19 years. Bledar still lives in Camarillo with his wife of 20 years, Clesta, and their 2 children, Cledy and Andy. He enjoys volunteering with youth soccer and the Camarillo Youth Basketball Association. His badge was pinned on him by his brother-in-law, Custody Lieutenant Salim Selmeta. Congratulations, BC. We're proud of you. Next is Custody Deputy Michael Callahan. Michael was born in Ventura to parents Michael and Renee Callahan. He has 2 siblings, Michelle and Bridget. He was raised in Ventura and attended St. Bonaventure High School. He played baseball all 4 years, and in his senior year he was selected as an all-league and all-county player, and he also played in the all-county all-star game. After graduating in 1991, he attended Ventura Community College, and he earned an associate's degree in liberal arts and science. Prior to joining the sheriff's office, he spent 27 years as a pharmacy technician. He and his wife Stephanie have been married for 20 years, and they have 4 children: Jacob, Matthew, Nathaniel, and Braden. His oldest son, Jacob, is currently serving our country in the United States Navy. Outside of work, Michael enjoys spending time with his family, playing softball, and volunteering at the Ojai 4-H Club. We thank your son for his service to the country, Michael, and we thank you for choosing to be a member of our organization. His badge was pinned by his wife, Stephanie. Congratulations. This next custody deputy can't stand because she's not with us. You heard that Norma Castro couldn't be present with us today because she is in the Army National Guard in a unit that has been activated, and she was recalled to Camp Roberts due to the statewide civil unrest and riots. But we're going to talk about her anyway because we're very proud of her. Norma was born in Santa Maria to parents Luis and Norma. She has 5 siblings, her sisters Erica and Leticia, and her brothers Luis, Jose, and Salvador. Norma attended Santa Maria High School and graduated in 2005. While in school, she enjoyed playing soccer, and she played on the varsity team. After high school, she enrolled at Santa Barbara Business College. In 2014, she received a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. Norma joined the Army National Guard and is a construction and equipment mechanic. During her 3 years of service, she has been awarded the California Commendation Medal. Norma lives in Santa Maria. While she's not at work, she enjoys playing soccer and spending time with her family and friends. Thank you, Norma, wherever you are today, for your continued service to our nation and for your sacrifice in not being able to be here and to be part of this because of what you're doing for our state and some local community somewhere. Norma's badge was pinned by her parents, Luis and Norma Castro. Let's have a round of applause for Norma Castro. Next is Custody Deputy Abraham Delgadillo. Abraham was born in Santa Maria to parents Sigifredo Delgadillo and Ofelia Limon. He has 2 siblings, his brother Sigifredo Jr. and his sister Jasmine. Abraham attended Pioneer High School in Santa Maria, and he played for the school's soccer team. He graduated in 2011. Before becoming a member of the sheriff's office, Abraham worked as a supervisor for Main Street Produce. Abraham is living in Santa Maria with his fiancée, Maria Ramos, and 3-year-old son, Nathan. He enjoys spending time reading, working out, and playing soccer. Thank you, Abraham, for choosing the sheriff's office. And I should add that Abraham's badge was pinned by his fiancée, Maria. Next is Custody Deputy Israel Gutierrez. Israel was born in Santa Barbara to parents Juan and Yesenia Gutierrez. Israel has 2 siblings, his brother Juan Pablo and his sister Jessica. Israel grew up in Carpinteria. He attended Carpinteria High School. While in high school, he enjoyed boxing at Primo Boxing in Santa Barbara. He graduated in 2014 and began working for Venco Security. And he was then hired at the Miramar Hotel in Montecito as a security guard. Israel was also employed as a skilled apprentice with Steve Augurat Construction. He's currently working towards a degree in the administration of justice at Santa Barbara City College. Israel currently lives in Carpinteria with his girlfriend of 7 years, Diana Beltran. When he's not at work, he enjoys working out, boxing, practicing mixed martial arts, and Muay Thai at the Valhalla Elite Training Gym in Santa Barbara. Israel is excited to be joining the sheriff's office as a custody deputy, and we're excited to have him. His badge was pinned by his girlfriend, Diana. Congratulations. Next, custody deputy Trenton Wayne Howell. Trenton was born in Jackson, Wyoming, to parents Timothy and Teresa Howell. Trenton has two sisters, Jessica and Courtney. Trenton's father, Timothy, played professional baseball for 5 years on the Pittsburgh Pirates as a catcher. Trenton's uncle, Roy Howell, also played professional baseball for 10 years as a third baseman for the Texas Rangers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Milwaukee Brewers. Trenton was raised in Lompoc, and he attended Lompoc High School. He played for both the football and baseball teams in 2012. And in 2012, his football teams were the CIF champions. After high school, Trenton enlisted in the United States Navy, and he was stationed in San Diego, California, aboard the USS Essex. He served for 4 years as an aviation boatswain's mate handler on the crash and salvage team. During that time, he was awarded the Good Conduct Medal, the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon twice, the National Defense Service Medal, the Pistol Sharpshooter Award, and a letter of appreciation for outstanding overall service. Trenton currently lives in Lompoc with his wife of 3 years, Mackenzie. When he's not at work, he enjoys playing sports, working out, and spending time with his family and friends. His badge was pinned by his wife, Mackenzie. Trenton, we thank you for your service to our country, and we thank you for choosing to be a member of the Sheriff's Office. Next is Custody Deputy Robert Henry Kuhn. Robert was born in Clovis, California, to Richard and Alethea Kuhn. He has 2 siblings, Casey and Kyle. Robert was raised in Casey, Illinois. He attended Nipomo High School, and he graduated in 2015. While Robert was in school, he played on the football team. After high school, he enrolled in Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria, where he is currently working towards obtaining a degree in the administration of justice. Robert has been working for the Old Custom House in Avila Beach as a part-time bartender while he attended school. He lives in Nipomo. He enjoys spending time with his girlfriend, Cameron Ruiz, and his family. He's excited to be starting his career with the Sheriff's Office, and his badge was pinned by his great-grandmother. Congratulations to you. Next is Custody Deputy Nicholas Anthony Montaglione. Nicholas was born in Santa Maria to his parents Tyra and Christopher. He has 1 sister, Vicenzina, and 2 half-brothers, Eric and Benjamin. Nicholas graduated from Cabrillo High School. After high school, he attended Allen Hancock College, and he received his associate's degree in business administration. Prior to joining the Sheriff's Office, he worked, as you heard, from SpaceX as a spacecraft propulsion technician, where he helped manufacture spacecraft fuel tanks. He began working for the Sheriff's Office in November as a Sheriff's Service technician. He lives in Lompoc with his wife, Rebecca, who is the daughter of School Resource Deputy Dennis Thomas, and they have 1 son, Calvin. Rebecca and Calvin pinned his badge on him, and we congratulate you, Nicholas, on your promotion to the position of Custody Deputy. Well done. Next is Custody Deputy Kristen Nova. Christian was born in Indio, California, to parents Ramiro and Maria Nova. He has 2 siblings, brother Ramiro and his sister Nylia. Christian was raised in Coachella, California. He attended Coachella Valley High School. While he was in high school, he participated in the school's Hospitality Academy, where he learned how to prepare resumes, practiced interviews, and volunteered work hours for reputable hotels and hospitals. After graduating from high school, Christian was hired by JFK Memorial Hospital in Indio, California. He currently lives in Coachella. When he is not at work, he enjoys going to the shooting range. His badge was pinned by his godfather, Riverside County Sheriff's Deputy Luis Diaz. Congratulations to you, Christian. We're proud of you. Next, we have Custody Deputy Jerry Ortiz. Jerry Ortiz was born in La Palma, California, to his mother, Ana. He has two siblings, Leonard and Stephanie, and two half-siblings, Evelyn and Roddy. Jerry attended Cabrillo High School, and he graduated from Antelope Valley Adult High School, where he was enrolled in the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, the ROTC program. After high school, he enlisted into the United States Marine Corps. He went on 6 deployments to Japan, to the Republic of Georgia, to Stuttgart, Germany, to Djibouti, Africa, to Norway, and to many places in Europe. He received many awards, just some of which include the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, the Armed Forces Reserve Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Selected Marine Corps Reserve Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, and the Navy Unit Commendation. He was promoted to the rank of E6, Staff Sergeant, and he worked in the Marine Corps serving his country for 12 years. He's been employed as a utility worker for the Sheriff's Office since October of 2019. His badge was pinned by his girlfriend, Syra Ramirez. Congratulations on your promotion, Jerry, and thank you for your dedicated service to our country and the service you're about to provide to our community. Next is Custody Deputy Juan Arturo Rodriguez. Juan was born in Los Angeles, California, to parents Arturo and Maria Rodriguez. Juan has one brother, Sandro, and 5 sisters, Sarah, Maria, Marta, Margarita, and Luz. Juan was raised in Santa Maria, where he attended Pioneer High School. While he was in high school, he was on the soccer and football teams, and he also participated in weightlifting. He graduated in 2010. After graduation, he began working at Allen Hancock College, and he worked there while taking classes each year, and he's looking forward to earning his degree. He lives in Santa Maria with his wife of 3 years, Gabriela. While he's not at work, he enjoys weightlifting, working out, and reading. He especially enjoys reading documentaries and autobiographies. His badge was pinned by his wife, Gabriela. Congratulations and welcome aboard. Next, we have Custody Deputy Paul Joseph Russ. Paul was born in San Luis Obispo, California, to his parents Harold and Marie. He has 10 siblings. His sisters, Teresa, Sarah, and Anna, and brothers Stephen, Michael, Christopher, James, John, David, and Robert. Paul was raised in Santa Maria. He was homeschooled, and he also attended Christ the King Catholic School in Los Angeles. During high school, he volunteered in the Civil Patrol Squadron 101. After high school, he enrolled in Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria. He graduated with an Associate of Science degree in the Administration of Justice in 2019. He currently lives in Santa Maria, and he's dating his girlfriend, Viviana Vargas. When he's not at work, he enjoys spending time with his family and with Viviana Vargas, his girlfriend. His badge was pinned by his father, Harold Russ, and we congratulate him and welcome him to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. Next is Custody Deputy Francisco Santos. Francisco was born in Santa Maria to Adalberto and Graciela Santos. Francisco has 3 siblings, his brother, Adalberto, and his sisters, Melise and Mayra. Francisco's cousins are Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office Senior Deputy Julio Gutierrez and Deputy Jesus Gutierrez. Francisco was raised in Guadalupe. He attended Ernest Righetti High School. He graduated in 2007. After high school, he worked for Pacific Pulmonary Services in San Luis Obispo as a delivery driver. In 2015, he was hired at AG Flow Irrigation in Santa Maria as a warehouse manager, and he's been employed there ever since. Francisco lives in Santa Maria with his 7-year-old daughter, Julieta. When he's not at work, he enjoys spending time with his family and his pride and joy, Julieta. He enjoys taking her on bike rides and exploring nature. And his badge was pinned by his daughter, Julieta. Congratulations to you, Francisco, and welcome aboard. Next is Custody Deputy Julio Silva Rodriguez. Julio was born in Guadalajara, Mexico, to parents Pedro Silva Romero and Eliza Rodriguez Meza. He has 2 siblings, his brother Pedro and his sister Marta. Julio attended Santa Barbara City College, and he earned a certificate in the administration of justice with an emphasis in criminology. Before joining our agency, Julio worked as a Lyft and Uber driver. He also worked as a part-time driver for Rusty's Pizza. Julio was awarded the Exceptional Civilian Award from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office for assisting UCPD officer Pianedo during an arrest in which a man was fighting with that officer. In 2002, after 11 years of perseverance, Julio and his family were able to become citizens of the United States. Congratulations on all your hard work, Julio. His badge was pinned by his parents, Pedro and Eliza, and we're proud of all of you. Congratulations. And now last, but certainly not least, is Custody Deputy Germain Valdez. Germain was born in Montebello to his parents Valentin Valdez and Irma Yolanda Gonzalez. He has 6 siblings, his brothers Hector, Edgar, and Angel, and his sisters Lisbeth and Jacqueline. Germain attended Whittier High School, and he graduated in 2016. While in high school, he accumulated a grade point average of 3.9. He was a member of the tennis team, and he also participated in band. By his senior year, he had received 3 team Most Valuable Player trophies. After high school, he attended the University of California at Santa Barbara, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. Germain is excited to start a career in law enforcement, and his badge was pinned by his girlfriend, Stephanie Figueroa. Welcome to the Sheriff's Office. Okay. So what I'm about to do is to swear these men and this woman in as custody deputies. And they're going to swear allegiance to 2 critical documents, the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. And I just want them and all of us to be aware and reminded that those 2 constitutions defend the right of, and they guarantee and grant the right of free speech, the right of assembly, and the right of citizens to petition their government for redress of grievances. We're seeing that play out right now. This oath that you are about to take, I want you to understand that we are defending the rights of people in this country that are granted to them by these 2 precious documents. And again, it's a solemn and profound responsibility that you have. And it's all going to be summed up in what you are about to do. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You are now custody deputies for the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. We're now going to bring your loved ones up to sign that oath of office that they just took. And it'll be my privilege to countersign it.
Thank you, Sheriff Brown. The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics was introduced by the International Association of Chiefs of Police and is codified in California law as the professional oath for law enforcement officers. You may follow along by reading the Code of Ethics in the program as the graduates recite this code. And now, Sergeant Kelly Hamilton will lead the graduates of Corps Class 08 in the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics and Oath.
Class 8, attend, hit! Prepare to recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Ready? Begin.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all, to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all. Maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule. Develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, or that is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duties. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with a relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Half left, face. Present, arms. Do you solemnly swear to practice, live by, and obey this Law Enforcement Code of Ethics?
I do.
Order, arms. Half right, face. Class Sergeant, post. Class Sergeant, for the final time, dismiss Class 8.
Class, on the command to dismiss, you will be dismissed from the academy. Dismiss!
Class 08, don't quit, don't break, hoorah!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Class 08, congratulations. At this time, on behalf of the Superintendent, President of Allen Hancock College, and all the staff at the Academy, this concludes our graduation ceremony. Thank you for all of you for attending. Good job.